Okay, so we're going to go ahead and finish up our tic-tac-toe app. All right, we're going to create our check for winner function, and then we're going to present a winning alert to the game player so they know who won, and then give them the option to restart. Okay, so our last screencast we left off, we placed a value into the label, so we had XO showing up in the label, and then at the end of this function we had a call to this check for winner function. So if you don't have that in there from last time, add this code line here, check for winner, right after this curly brace and before the last two. Okay, so now check for winner. All right, so when we're placing X or O into the different labels, every time it's going to check for the winner. Okay, so before it places another label, it's going to check for the winner. If there's a winner, the game's over. If not, it'll come back up here and run this function again. Okay, so let's go through here and let's create that. So we're going to create our function called check for winner. Okay, and then again, we want to make sure it matches up to the spelling right here. Okay, so that way that error should go away now. So now how do we check for winner in tic-tac-toe? Basically, we have to check each combination, each winning combination. All right, so the winning combinations are left to right. 1, 2, and 3 are options. If 4, 5, and 6 are the same, that's a winner. If 7, 8, and 9 are the same, that's a winner as well. We also have columns, so if 1, 4, and 7 are the same, we got a winner. If 2, 5, and 8, we've got winner. And then we've also got 3, 6, and 9 are winning possibilities. And then the last ones we have are, again, our diagonals. So 1, 5, 9, and we've got 3, 5, and 7. And as I'm in here too, make sure if you didn't catch this last time, that you change the font color of each of these labels to black. All right, if not, because I know it'll be white by default, so make sure that's black. Okay, so now let's go into our code. Let's set this up. So we're going to use if statements to check these here. So it's going to go through this. So let's check that first row 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to go if label 1. All right, if the text of label 1 is the same as the text of label 2. All right, then we're going to go and label 2 has the same text as label 3. Okay, we're going to check one more thing. We want to make sure that label 3 is not empty. So we're going to go not equal to an empty string. Okay, so that is the case. If all those checks are good, okay, we're going to go ahead and present something called winning alert. So we're going to go present winning alert. Now this thing doesn't exist yet, so it's going to be an error, but we'll fix that at the end of this screencast. But we're just going to get everything set up. So if the function is correct, we're going to go ahead and pass it the last. Oh, I got to go up here and fix it up. I forgot the text aspect of it here. Sorry about that, guys. Let me just clean that up for you. Okay, so we're going to pass it the text of the last label that shows up in the comparison. So in this case, it is text number 3. Okay, so we got curly brace. Okay, should be good. Yeah, so right now what's happening here again is that we've just got the error of no winning alert function. Throw that curly brace in there. So that's how it works. Okay, so basically then from there, if that check isn't met, let's just make sure here. And, yeah, I'm gonna clean this up here a second. Let's go back and do that again. Curly brace, blank, label 3.text. Unwrap that. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. Now we're back in business. Okay. So now we're going to do an else if branch. So if this one isn't correct, we're going to go else and check something else. So we'll go else if, then we'll check the next row. So that's label 4.text is equal to label 5.text. And label 5.text is equal to label 6.text. And then we got to make sure that label 6 is not empty. Okay, and then once again, if that's the case, we're going to do present winning alert. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this line because I don't want to mistakenly misspell or do anything different with this function call. Because if I were to do that, it could make life a little tougher when I get down the line here. So what we want to do is we just want to make sure we got to change this to label 6 because that is the last label in our function. All right, and then let's see, what else is there? We go. Okay, so the errors are going away. So now we've checked the first row. Now we've checked the second row. So now we got to do the final row. So now we go if label. Let's see here. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 7. Yeah. So label 7.text is equal to label 8.text, and label 8.text is equal to label 9.text. And we're going to make sure label 9 is not empty. Okay, so if all three of those things hit, then we will present that winning alert. Again, I'm just going to paste it, and then I'm going to change the label in here to make sure it's the last label in that one. So that is, again, going through there. So that's got all the different combinations for rows. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of start moving through and get the columns and diagonals set up. So again, if you kind of get the gist of it, you can pause the video and you'll cruise through on your own, or just kind of follow along. You know, I'm just going to kind of type it in here. You know, don't really need to explain it anymore at this point here. But again, just make sure again you're being very careful with the labels that you put in. And then just always, checking for that blank one at the end here. So let's go ahead and get the rest of these done. So let's do our columns here. So we'll get moving here. So else if label 1.text is equal to label. Oops, sorry about this. Should be label 4. So here I'm just catching some of the things, so again, you got to be very careful with, the labels you put in here, and just because if you want to check the right one here, you got to keep that grid in mind here. So again, when I'm looking at these numbers, remember it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's where the label numbers are coming from. Okay, keep moving along. Okay. All right, so that takes care of the columns. So we've got rows, first three, then we got our columns. Now let's do the diagonals. All right, so that's the one diagonal. Let's put in our final diagonal. Okay, so there we have it. So those are our checks now. So now we've gone through and we've checked for all, we've done our logic to figure out who our winners are going to be of this game. Okay, so now from here, we've got to take care of these errors. We got this present winning alert function. So basically what's going to happen, like I said, if one of these conditions is met, we're going to present an alert to the winner saying, hey, you've won, game over, let's restart it. So let's go ahead and create that, and then we're going to be all done. So right below the check for winner, let's create our function called present winning alert. Again, it's got to match the spelling that you have up here. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and just set it up here. So now we got to put a parameter in here, because remember up here we passed in a parameter, so we need to do the same thing here. So we're going to go winner, which is going to be a string. All right, let's see if that clears through. All right. Okay, so we're just about ready here, so we're going to go through now and we're going to code this thing out here. All right, we still have an error. All right, oh, that's right. Shoot, I forgot about this. We got to insert winner into each of these. We got to put the parameter into the function call. Should have done that as we were coding it here, but it's okay. Quick fix. Remember, we had this problem last time in our last function as well. Okay, so that's all right. It's an easy error to fix, so we're okay. Let's go ahead and go back and insert those. Get our code all nice and clean. Okay. So now let's go ahead and make this function down here do something. Okay, so we're going to create an alert controller. So some of you just did this in our space adventure, so you'll be familiar with it. So we're going to go UI alert controller. All right, and then we're going to give it some properties here. So the title is going to be winner plus space is the winner. So what this is doing, it's taking the whatever label gets passed into the function will show up here, so X or O. So it's going to say X is the winner or O is the winner. If you want, we can put a little exclamation point there if you're excited about it. Message will be nil, and then the preferred style is going to be .alert. So that creates the alert controller. So now we need to add an action to it. So we're going to go let alert action. So this is going to give us the ability to hit a button on the alert view so it goes away, or the alert controller, that is. UI alert action. So we're going to give it, oh, actually let's do this here. So when we type action, we go parentheses, we're going to choose this option with these characteristics or properties. All right, so the title, we'll just say reset, or you could say restart. We'll give it a style of default. And then what I want you to do from there is we're going to go ahead and kind of customize this a little bit. So go ahead and delete your code there, and I got it spelled default correctly. All right, so we're going to go parenthesis right after default, and then we're going to go curly brace. Okay, right here. Hit enter for me. Okay, so basically we're going to create a block, all right, a code block here. So inside this block is we're going to basically clear the board, okay, and restart our game. So to do that, first we need to type in the word action. We'll wait in. All right, so this starts our code block, and then we're going to do a for loop. So we're going to go for label and self.location array. So we're going to loop through that array up at the top there and clear everything out. Okay, so that's the first part. Okay, and then we're almost done here. We're going to set the label text. So for every label in the location array, we're going to set it equal to, or the label is going to be blank. And we're going to do self.current turn label.text. We'll just say that O is the winner. If you want to have X as the winner, you can do that as well. Okay, so that's the first part there. So now again, we created an alert controller. On the alert controller, we gave an action, and that action is going to clear the board. It's going to make it blank. Current turn label is going to be O or X, whatever you want it to be. Then the game will restart. Okay, so before we can finish up here, okay, we need to go through and we need to get our alert controller added so it shows up on the screen. So we're going to go alert. First, we're going to add the action to our alert controller. So type in alert.add action. Okay, and then we're just going to type in alert action. Okay, and then from there we're going to go ahead and type in self.present. Just type in the word present here. Okay, and we're going to come down and choose this option. So basically this is going to give us the ability to present the alert on the screen. So we need to type in alert in the first box here. It's going to be animated, so we're going to go true, and we're just going to type in nil for that section there. Okay, so what we've done here, okay, so now that we've added this to the alert controller, again, this is the winning alert. So let's take a look and see what happens here. See if our code is working. Okay, so a lot of steps at the end there, so make sure you pause the video, make sure you're going back and checking things, and just be very, just pay close attention to the small details there, just so you don't overlook anything. And let's give it a run here, and we'll see how this looks. right, there's our board. All right, O wins, and there we got our alert. So it says O is the winner. We reset. Board clears. O is the current turn. Give X a chance to win a game here. X is the winner. So everything is working. So pretty cool. All right, so again, hopefully you were able to get yours to work as well. If not, just come back and check out your checks here, your conditionals, and check the alert down here. What I'd like you to do is, if you have that happening here, I want you to go through, all right, because right now, and I want you to see if you can fix this problem. So if we go through, let's see, we'll go O here, X there, O here, X here. And, oh, if we get a tie game, you'll notice the game is kind of, there nothing happens. All right, the user's just kind of stuck here. All right, so your challenge for this one is, can you build in code that, if there's a tie game, we get an alert view that says tie game, start over. Okay, so that's my challenge for you. See if you can give that a shot. All right, and then again, we'll be back. We'll go over some things on Wednesday in class when I get back in. Again, you can email me with questions if you have them. I'll try to get back to here, but that's our last tic-tac-toe screencast. So nice job, guys. We'll see you back in class.